We go. This is Dan Lawson. I'm down in Manchester, Maine today. I'm with the Alliance for American Manufacturing. I'm talking to Sarah Bigney from the Maine Fair Trade Campaign. And Sarah, you've been a student of the trade policies and what's been going on and how it affects Maine. This paper case that's been filed by NewPage, Sappi, Appleton paper companies along with the United Steelworkers. You understand what is going on as far as the paper being dumped and subsidized?
Yes, it's been a huge impact on our state. As you know, here at the Maine Fair Trade Campaign, we travel all over the state to figure out what's the impact of free trade been on Maine, what's happening with foreign trade coming into our state, and if there's one area that we've had a huge impact, it's in the paper industry here in Maine.
Okay, and what type of impacts are you seeing as far as the communities and what's happening to the people?
It's just been devastating. You know, I've traveled from town to town to talk to people, sit at their kitchen tables and hear their stories, and it's really bad. Entire towns are really struggling, especially in Jay, for example. I know one woman there I spoke with, she works to try to find workers who have been displaced by trade when the Jay mill went down, and there are no jobs for people, and people are really struggling. They're having health issues, they are unable to pay their bills, unable to pay for health insurance. The whole town is hurt because the kids don't have as good programs in the schools anymore because the town doesn't have the funding. Kids don't have any options other than to hang out and do drugs. That's one thing they've really noticed in Jay, and they don't have the soccer teams anymore. It really ripples effect on the whole community, and people are looking for jobs, but there just aren't the jobs out there.
Now, do you see the ripple effect affecting other industries when the paper mills go down?
Well, sure, you'll see the small businesses closing in the towns, the restaurants, any of the Main Street businesses definitely have a huge impact. They just can't keep their doors open.
Now, do you think this would be what would happen in the Skowhegan area and the Rumford area if those mills were to be either long-term rolling shutdowns or to be shut down completely?
It would be devastating on those communities. It would just be awful. In Rumford, there's not a lot else going on, so people really depend on the mill for that whole economic engine of the area. And if anything happened, it would be a really huge impact on Rumford. Same thing up in Skowhegan with the Sappi mill. People really depend on those jobs. They're good-paying jobs, and people have worked in those mills for decades. And where they're being undercut by countries who use child labor and who do not have environmental protections and who are paying sweatshop wages. And people here have dignity and can't compete with those sweatshop wages. China and Indonesia shouldn't be allowed to operate that way. We should have fair trade.
Okay, so the subsidies and the dumping of the paper, real major issue here. I want to get back to more on the fair trade. What do you see has to happen? I mean, we're asking, of course, for tariffs on the paper so that we can get back to a level playing field.
We do need to level the playing field so that if we're going to have international trade, that we have standards that everyone applies. Everyone has to follow. They shouldn't be able to use child labor. They shouldn't be able to use illegal logging. And if they do, then we need to have ways to level that playing field. But we also really support the Trade Act, which is a bill Mike Michaud's put in, trying to reform the whole system. So this is one piece of that puzzle.
Okay. Listen, I want to thank you for your time and great interview. Thank you.